Hi, y'all. My name is Terry. I don't know why I said that again. You probably know who I am now. But this is my discussion board post for our assignment topic 6.5 whole class discussions. Um, the prompt was to consider all of the information presented in the module on sexualization and gender based violence. Please share a post that addresses the following. One, share something that you learned, something that was reinforced, something that challenged you, or something that stood out to you about the information presented in the module. And the article that stood out to me the most, as someone who has done a lot of advocacy work for the LGBTQ plus community, like a lot. I have interned with the Senate and presented a policy report on how to improve the foster care system for LGBTQ plus youth. I have presented at the University of Oklahoma on sexual behavior and health, on how to empower LGBTQ plus youth. I went to LA and presented at SNAP last summer with the Exchange for Change, essentially an organization that focuses on empowering youth, particularly an emphasis on trans youth. But all of this to say, this article I had no idea. Um, I'm looking at it, so apologies if it's like in real time, but I knew the specifics on like how individuals and the community of LGBTQ plus people like experience more marginalization and they're disenfranchised. However, I did not understand or know the statistics, and that is something that I I'm just mind boggled. So I am big on numbers and I love statistics, and I didn't even like fathom. I do know that within the LGBTQ plus community that like I feel and I know based on research that those who identify as bisexual in their sexual orientation are often like kind of the forgotten um, letter in the acronym of LGBTQ plus. But I did not know that those who are bisexual have higher rates of like almost everything in this article. Like 35% of straight women have experienced rape, but and 44% of lesbians have experienced rape, but 61% of bisexual women have experienced rape. Like that is almost double the percentage of like straight women. Same thing with like men. 37% of bisexual men have experienced rape in comparison to 26% of gay and 29% of straight men. I yeah, that was like the biggest thing that stood out to me, and I did not know. It did not challenge me, but it definitely stood out to me and reinforced the inequity of the LGBTQ plus community, but like with emphasis on those who identify bi. It's a concept like I have two people at my place of employment that identify as bi, and I just we are constantly talking about this, and I love that I work in a place where like that is accepted and okay. Second one, share how each of those things will impact your practice as a social worker. The it will inform my practice. I know that sexuality is something that manifests in every facet of life. And so, just as a human being, I think that it's good to know these things and it's good to know these statistics. But also, as a social worker, and when I'm working with populations within the LGBTQ plus community in whatever capacity, it's going to help inform my practice. And in addition to that, there's somewhere in this article that talks about intersectionality and how that further compounds things. And I'm like, yes. as a queer, black, like cis male, um, that grew up in Idaho, this whole, yeah, it was a great article, and I'm grateful that it was part of our class. So, the last question, as I am at 5.5 minutes, share something else you might need to know or work with in these areas to help you be a more competent and affirming social worker. Really, from really from reading this article, I think the things that stood out to me and that I have the most questions about and will further my like research and education is the um how to empower, because I focused a lot on like the umbrella term of LGBTQ plus, LGBTQ2SI, LGB, like there's so many different variations of the acronym. But I just want to know like how to empower those who identify bi. Like I I feel like I have a lot of tools and knowledge on how to advocate for those who identify trans or those of trans experience. I feel like I have a lot of education and knowledge on just how to empower youth. Uh, Having one supportive adult can prevent suicidal ideation or suicide attempts by 40%. I know that 1 in 4 youth that are in the foster care system identify within the community, and a lot of times I'm going into foster care is based on like their identity. But I really would like to know more about how to support the bi community, and what actionable steps I can take as a current LSW, but future LMS, and maybe one day LCSW, to empower like the bi community, and actionable items that I can utilize to advocate for those within the trans community. So those are my answers to my question, or to the prompts and the questions. I hope that I didn't talk too long, and also I just think it's appropriate. The whole reason I like recorded right here was because I literally have a flag that hangs in my house. I have flags everywhere because when I worked in child welfare for 2 years. 1 year as a safety assessor, and then another as a foster care licensing worker. And I put like LGBTQ plus flags everywhere. And part of it is my pride and my knowledge of the historical events around the LGBTQ plus community, but also because wearing a rainbow, having a rainbow somewhere, like that alone could be such a powerful symbol for someone to feel comfortable and feel safe around you. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.